What's going on? This is Caleb from Beartooth, and you're watching Shout Loud TV.
What's up, guys? I'm Alex from Shout Loud TV. I'm sitting here with Caleb Shomo from Beartooth.
What's up? That is me.
Yeah, that's you. So let's kick this off. How has your tour been with Architects and Polaris?
Unbelievable so far. I mean, the shows have been huge. Architects is incredible. Polaris is incredible. Everybody on the tour is super nice. There's like not one, off-putting person on the whole thing. Everybody is just great. Crew's great. It's a pretty much perfect tour through and through. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to hear. So you released your last album, Disease, last year in September, I think.
Mm-hmm.
How has it been so far to play these songs in a live setting, and how has it been to play in Europe with the new album?
It's been great. It's always exciting getting to, work with new content. And yeah, it seems to be going over really well. People love the new songs. We love playing them just because it's something new. Keeps us more occupied. And yeah, it's been great, man. Really good.
So I wanted to talk specifically about the progression between the albums. So you started out with, you had the EP, Sick, I think, and then you had the album Disgusting, Aggressive, and Disease. There's a shift definitely in lyrical content. I wanted you just to explain what the different albums are talking about and what this newest one is focusing on.
So the Sick EP is pretty specifically about kind of my headspace I was in when I was leaving my other band, and just kind of about what I wanted to do with my life and how I was feeling. And then Disgusting was kind of about me figuring out just who I am as a person and like dealing with all that repressed negative mental energy, I guess, that I've collected over so many years. And yeah, it's more about just kind of like this big outlash of getting my head on straight. And then Aggressive was, I don't know, kind of like me being angry that I still feel this way, and like I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to accept that, there are some mental things going on with me that I should probably be dealing with that I'm not, and I was just mad about it. And that's kind of like what that record was about. And then Disease is me more so coming to terms with it and trying to learn how to live with it and kind of how to cope. And yeah, that's kind of the progression.
Nice, thank you. And overall, what would you say is the song that represents best on the record? So Disease, which song is the most representative of the whole record?
I mean, the song Disease, for sure. It was the first song that I wrote for the album. The whole album concept basically came out of me writing that song. And yeah, I mean, it just covers it all. It really does. It's got, the choruses and the woes, and there's heavy parts and there's soft parts, and it's kind of like the sound of the record condensed into one track.
Would you say that you have sort of found your final sound, or would you say there is a definite Beartooth sound, and how would you describe it to people who don't know you?
I mean, I think at the core of it, the Beartooth sound is just, it's two guitars, drums, bass, and it's kind of the way that I play guitar and the way I play drums and play bass, I guess, kind of makes the sound. Same with the vocals. But I don't really have like a definitive sound other than that. Other than we use these instruments. This is generally how I play these instruments, and then it goes from there. But I'm sure the fourth record's going to sound different. I mean, every record's going to sound a bit different just because of where I'm at in my life when I'm writing them. But I'm really happy with the way Disease turned out, and I think that was like a great representation of where I was when I was making the album.
Yeah, I agree. So the record lists different people as personnel. On your first album, you recorded every part yourself, if I got that right.
Yep.
On Aggressive, other people were already contributing, or is that
every record I write and record it all?
Right, okay, because my next question was going to be if you have other people also contributing parts in the studio, if you do everything.
When it comes to like the instrumentation and all the music, that is all me. I do some co-writing with some people, which is more so like usually we get together like with an acoustic or something, and we write a song, and then after the song is written, I kind of take that and build the musical landscape of it, for lack of a better term. And yeah, I do that, but kind of like the whole point of Beartooth for me, and one of the things that, you know, keeps me excited about it, is I love to play instruments, and I always have. Like, I've been playing music way longer than I've been singing, and that's the one time every 2 years or so that I actually get to play. So that's like really important to me, and I don't know, it's just fun. I like being able to write stuff completely alone, and everybody in the band understands and they get it, and they still come through the studio and hang out, and it's nothing weird. It's just kind of how it is and how it's always going to be and how it started, you know.
So you would say that the album process and recording and writing is more of a private thing for you, where you share it with other people after you've kind of finished part of the product, or do you?
Absolutely, yes.
Right.
It is way more. I mean, basically what we do is I just have like a Dropbox that all the guys in the band have a thing to, and then I just kind of disappear for a while, and then something pops up in the Dropbox, and I'm like, hey, check it out, see what you think, and then they'll let me know. It's like, yeah, this is cool. This sucks, this could be better, whatever, and we go from there. But it's Beartooth is a very private thing when it comes to the writing process.
Yeah, and as a whole, what would you say that people should take away when listening to Disease on a musical as well as a lyrical content level?
To me, all I was trying to do is just be honest and be open, and musically it was just, again, the same thing. You know, I recorded in studios that were way more geared towards analog recording than digital recording, and the way, even down to like the way the drums were edited and the way, you know, they were mic'd up, and like I didn't use like drum samples, I used like the actual take, and the guitars, like you can hear them buzzing and cranking in the room a lot of the time, and that for me is like me kind of saying to people, like, this is just what it sounds like when I play these instruments, and this is kind of as raw as it can get for the band, and that contributing to, you know, the honesty of the record with the lyrics is kind of the most important thing. And that's like I guess the point is that on all levels, it's me just trying to be an open book, and down to me, you know, screwing up a snare fill, but it worked, so I left it in, or, you know, the guitars could have sounded better and this and that. I just wanted it to sound real. That's kind of the whole point.
Do you think that you have a lot of freedom when it comes to your artistic approach? So does your label give you enough freedom to express yourself in any way that you deem right musically?
Yeah, they definitely do. I've been working with Red Bull Records now for about 5 years, and they've always been extremely supportive of me being able to do what I do. Obviously, there's, you know, different aspects of it, and we have conversations back and forth about maybe singles and things like that, but no, they understand how I work. We all have a very good agreement on how Beartooth records are made, and they're always really supportive of that and very good about it, and it lets me do whatever I want to do, and it's a lot of trust from both ends.
Nice. I'd like to move on to a different aspect. Talking about mental health, you are and always have been very vocal about mental health, dealing with it, and how you kind of use music as a sort of therapy, so to speak. Yeah. Why do you think that's so important to you, and why do you think that might help other people?
Well, to me, it's just like music has been the thing that it feels like it's been in my blood for as long as I can remember. Like, I've always been obsessed with music from my first memories of my entire life. That music has really been all I cared about. And it's been the best way for me to express myself emotionally. And after starting Beartooth and pretty much just having this outlet that is solely for me to express every single thing that I'm feeling, I really realized how powerful it was. And I think so many people feel that same way. Like, they just have so many things they don't know how to talk about or how to deal with, and they turn to music. And, you know, that's the way I am, and I don't know. Like, that's just kind of the basis of my life is that music definitely is what I use to get by, you know. So it's very important to me, and hopefully to other people as well.
Yeah. Then just a final aspect, I'd like to know from you what your goal is for Beartooth for the next couple of years. Do you have certain things that you really want to tick off the list, like venues or other tours that you would like to do in the future that you have in mind? Specific things, or are you happy and all set for now?
Sure. I mean, I'm extremely happy and stoked on where we are. I mean, getting to tour with Architects in the, you know, a direct support slot and playing things like Wembley Arena, and I can't imagine it getting much better than that. So I'm very happy with where we are as a band. And I don't know, hopefully, you know, next time we come back to headline, we can do more of the things we want to do with our show. And like we did a long headliner in the States to kind of like kick off the record cycle, and we were able to bring out, you know, like a big light show and all the like kind of fun parts of it, I guess, from like the production aspect of a live show. So yeah, hopefully we can just come back and keep advancing so we can keep basically putting more fire on stage, and that's kind of all we really care about. But other than that, I mean, we're content with whatever's going on. As long as everybody's happy on the bus and as long as we're having fun on stage, then we're content. You know what I mean?
So since we can say that you are increasingly, like, getting increasingly bigger in Germany, Parkway Driver at the forefront of metalcore, Architects are also huge. What do you think about statements like Ollie Sykes recently said something along the lines that rock hasn't produced a single idol or rock star in the last 30 years? Maybe you caught a glimpse of that or heard about that. What do you think about these statements, especially since you're such an avid proponent of rock music?
I mean, to be fair, I don't really care about rock idols and things like that. I mean, to a point, but I mean, the rock and roll I love is like the rock from the 70s, like, you know, classic rock and things like that. And obviously the whole rock star thing is like, it gives like this legendary aspect to people that we just could never wrap our heads around. And that's cool. But I don't know. I mean, as long as rock just stays around, I'll be happy. I mean, I could really care less about the rock stars in it and like the whatever. I don't know. Sorry, I'm tired. I'm trying to think my way through this one, but bottom line, I love rock and roll. Hope it stays around. Fact is, it is getting smaller, but I don't think that means that it's always going to be that way. I think there's always a chance for it to come back. And whether there's rock stars or not, as long as there's rock and roll, I'm happy.
Right, that's a good note to close this out on, and I want to thank you for the nice interview and have a nice show with Architect tonight.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.